As a child, have you ever had to survive emotional landmines from the people who were supposed to protect you? And as a kid, did you learn that growing up, love sounds a lot like you're a burden or I wish I never had you? And what if I told you that those words didn't just hurt, but they essentially rewired how you see yourself for the rest of your life? Now, children deserve love, not just a word, but actually the experience. They deserve to be raised, not just fed and housed. But what happens when the people who are meant to love you, weaponize their words? Now, according to the U.S. Administration for Children and Families, over 50,000 children were officially reported as victims of emotional abuse within 1 year. And that's just the ones who made it into a system that often misses their pain. Now, verbal abuse doesn't always come with bruises, but it can absolutely leave scars. So let's talk about the things that parents should never say to their kids and why it matters so much. Now, insults about appearance is our first point because it happens far more often than we think and even into adulthood. Things like you're too fat, you are ugly, why are you built like that? So what might sound like a throwaway comment to a parent becomes the soundtrack in a child's head for years and even into adulthood. These comments they don't build resilience, they build shame. And shame is essentially the enemy of self-love. Now, at number two, we have mocking how kids act. Why do you walk like that? Why do you chew so weird? Why are you so awkward? Now, let's just be clear. Kids internalize everything. When you mock how they naturally move or express themselves, they learn to police their bodies, their voice, and eventually their soul. That kind of constant self-monitoring doesn't magically stop when they turn 18. Now at number three, we have wishing they didn't exist. I wish I never had you. You ruined my life. You were a mistake. These are soul crushing. Even if said in anger, these statements embed the idea that a child's whole existence is a burden. It can lead to some deep identity wounds, self-harm, depression, and a lifelong belief that they're too much. Now, making the child feel like a burden comes in for number four and is closely related to number three. You cost me too much. I'm exhausted because of you. You're the reason why I can't have a life. Kids aren't stupid. They pick up on resentment like it's smoke in the air. So they shrink. They stop asking for help. They learn to suppress their needs and bottle up pain, and they learn to walk on eggshells just to keep the peace. It's not maturity, it's trauma. Now, if you've ever been told as a child that you're so mature for your age, this is probably why. Now, at number five, we have comparing them to others. Why can't you be more like your sibling? Why can't you do it like the other kids do? They could do better. The comparison just doesn't motivate. It mutilates people. It tells the child that their value is conditional, that love must be earned through performance, and that their authentic self just isn't enough. And sibling rivalry comes free with every side of parental favoritism. Now, at number six, we have verbal abuse. You are stupid. You'll never succeed. You are worthless. These aren't tough love statements. They are verbal landmines, and they chip away at self-worth and creates an inner critic that just never shuts up. If people who are meant to believe in you don't, then you start thinking that maybe no one should. Now at number seven, we have abandonment threats. If you keep that up, I'll leave. One day, I just won't be there. Now, abandonment threats turn children into essentially emotional hostages. Even if the parent never actually leaves, the damage is done. It sets the stage for anxious attachment, trust issues, and the deep-seated fear that eventually everyone will leave them. Now, lastly at number eight, we have the empty promises. If you do this, I'll get you that. We'll go next time, I promise you. And then it never happens. Kids remember broken promises more than we think they do. If they're constant, it teaches them not to trust others. or themselves, basically. It reinforces the belief that hope will always disappoint you. If you can relate to any of these, then you've probably adopted an indecisive, independent, or perfectionist, walled up goblin personality. It sucks. But why this matters is words shape brains. Because childhood is where self-worth either roots or starts rotting. And because one careless comment can echo for decades. Parents do not have to be perfect, but they absolutely have to be mindful. Now, if this hit a nerve, it's probably because you've heard these things before growing up. Maybe you're still hearing them now. Maybe you're still unlearning the lies someone told you in some of your most vulnerable years. Or maybe you're trying to become the kind of parent you never had. If this, if this resonated with you, then please go ahead and give this a like. Tells me that you like this. Drop a comment and tell me, like, what's one thing you wish your parent never said to you? Or if you are the offending parent, what is one thing that you say now to break that cycle? Now, if you want more videos about mental health, emotional healing, and figuring life out without losing your mind, then hit the subscribe button. And remember, you are not too much, you are not broken, and you are not a burden. You are becoming everything they didn't know how to be.